Hello, I am Francine Bonjour-Carter, and I'm here to welcome you to our grounding practice. I am at the beach, as you can see and hear, and I hope it's a little windy and it's not that warm, and I hope the wind will not cover the sound of my voice for today's practice. So I would like to talk about self-care today and what it means to you, to me, to each of us, and that might be a different thing. And I see a lot of posts on social media, articles in newspapers, lots of discussion around self-care. It seems that it's being a big concept for this last couple of years. It's kind of becoming a thing, and it is important. Self-care is a really important concept, but I'd like to talk about the meaning of self-care as in caring for the self, ourself, myself, yourself, and that's why I think there's a nuance in the uniqueness of self-care for each person, that it's different. A lot of what I see and hear connects self-care with pampering, and I think from my perspective, there's a little misunderstanding there, at least from how I see self-care. And getting a massage, going to a spa, having, I don't know, your nails done at a nail salon. It can be a part of self-care, but I think there's something deeper than that, where we can really go into self-care as caring for the self in a way that is more deep. And what I would like to suggest today is looking at self-care as a way of moving out of our habitual patterns and habits and roles, and seeing self-care as really getting in touch with an authentic sense of ourselves. And very often, I mean, in my experience, I've often wondered, well, yeah, self-care, sure, but if I don't know myself, how do I do that? How do I really have a self-care plan? How do I care for myself if I don't know what I need, if I don't know really who I am? And this question of who am I is the big question, right? And I think I totally connected from my life experience to these habits, these roles that we are sometimes trapped in. And in my own story, the role of being a victim, being victimized, either by physical pain, physical limitation, either by the way I've been brought up and kind of my environment growing up, or being a victim in a relationship, has been really something that I could, once I started to learn how to connect to my body, I could see that at play in the way I moved, in the way I sensed myself, in my self-image, and in the way I was living in my body. So it's really, really interesting to me to see all these connections and how everything bridges together. And the work I do, the Feldenkrais method, it's really about connecting to ourselves through our body and going deep with it and really going to see and to explore this other realm, these habits of thinking, habits of relating to others, relating to ourselves, and habits of sensing through our body, through our emotions, what's going on about being me, being myself in this life, in this body now. And so this method is great for all kind of physical difficulties, of course. And what I'd like to explore more is the deeper level. A lot of us talk about the mind and the body connection, and I'd like to suggest that it's a one thing. Like, your mind and your body are together, right? It's you, it's who you are. You can have, a pattern of thinking that's in your mind, a pattern of moving that's in your body. They go together. They inform each other constantly. Our whole brain, nervous system is made to give information, to give signals, and to respond to our body, and our body to respond to our nervous system and brain. So it's a continuity of all what we experience happens in this, in this connective system. So talking about habits and being in a role and seeing self-care as expanding this role, expanding this idea of who you are, and making the connection of kind of this new territory into your body, into your thinking, into your sensing, into your emotional response. And going slowly. To me, the self-care is allowing myself to have the time and the space for growth. And so I'm at the beach this weekend. It's a very special weekend for me. And I'm giving myself time and space to care for who I am. And that means finding more about who I am and coming from this authentic self point of view. And I have a few questions that work for me. If they work for you, I'd love to share them. And if they don't work for you, I'd love to encourage you to find your questions. When you do something like that you would consider as, caring for yourself with capital S. And the first one is, how is my thinking? Like, how do I think? What are my thoughts? The quality of my thoughts when I am, taking my example, here at the beach, off season when there's nobody else for a few days. And I look at that and I see if that brings me a sense of growth, a sense of lifting up and understanding more of who I am. Then my second question is about, how do I sense my body? How alive do I feel in my bones? And again, it's connected to this feeling of being who I am truly, right? No makeup, no, no superficial anything. Just getting up, feeling that I'm who I am, I'm at the place I want to be, even if it's just for a weekend or an hour or a day. And then the third question is, what am I learning? What am I learning through this time and space I'm taking to take care of myself? What am I learning about who I am? What do I need more of? What do I want more of? What do I want less of? And what is the first little step I can take toward a more fulfilling life, basically? And it sounds easy to say, but I do know it's not an easy journey. It's not an easy path. And self-care is not always, self-care as in caring for the self, is not always love and glitter and flowers. And I think that's where we can ask for support. We can find people who can support us through this path of, being more who we are in our body. And to me, the connection to our body is really important, because that's where we live our life, right? We are on this planet and we are in this body. Everything we experience comes in a way or in another in our body. Everything we experience is processed through all the different systems we have. And that's how we express ourselves, right? That's how we take things in, and that's how we give out. So our body, to me, and I have been totally disconnected from it for a long time, so I can see the difference. It's a place, it's a possibility to have this center, this anchoring, this feeling grounded. And so that brings me to why I'm here today and twice a week for a little while now for this grounding practice, which is really to reconnect you, give you the tools I have and let you find what works for you. And again, it's very unique for each of us to reconnect to your body and to feel that the wholeness that a lot of people are talking about. To me, it means that I make sense, like who I am in my thought, in my self-image, in my body, in my life, in my role as a mother, as a wife, as a sister, as a daughter, as a friend, as a healer. It all makes sense. I'm who I am, and somebody who sees me only through one lens of this, just one area, if they see me in the other areas, they will still recognize that it's me. So what I would love to do today with you, and I know I talked a lot today, and we have only 15 minutes-ish, I'd like to come to our body from this sense of caring for ourselves and do the remaining time we have, and I even don't see what time we have left, but we'll make it work. I will turn my screen to the ocean and I will let you see the ocean. If you want to see, you can also close your eyes, and we'll do just a very simple taking the time to be in ourselves. And we won't move that much today. We'll come to explore our inner landscape through our sensation. So let me just get up from the beach and show you the beautiful. Here we go. Let's do it like that. Ta-da. And so whether you are standing or sitting, I'd like you can close your eyes or you can leave your eyes open, and I'd like you to come to sense your bones and sense, if you're standing, sense your feet on the floor. If you are sitting, sense your pelvis on the seat, your sit bones. You can come also in touch with your breathing and the rhythm of your breathing and the rhythm of your own cycles. Very inspired here by the rhythm of the ocean, the rhythm of the tide. And what are the tides in you? When do you need rest? When do you need action? When do you need inspiration? When do you need to pause and to center and to feel grounded? And sense or imagine, if you don't sense it physically, sense in your mind's eyes your spine. Your spine coming from inside of your pelvis, your tailbone, your sacrum, and then see and sense this spine as a supportive, flexible, and strong, like a column. Like it's not just a fine line that you may sense when you lie down against the floor. There's a depth, there's a width, and your bones are really inside of yourself, each of your vertebrae. And sense its curves in your lower back, and then sense it in between your shoulder blades and another curve in your neck. And all the way to the top where your head, where your skull is resting. And sense your head on the top of your spine. Sense your shoulders. Sense your sternum, your breastbone in front of you, and you can touch it. You can take your hand and gently touch your sternum. And see in your mind's eyes that your ribs are attached to your sternum and go all around to your spine, and that forms like, again, a strong and flexible protective envelope around your chest. And if you like to put colors into your world, bring colors. You know, you can, what would you draw on your bones? What color would you steep them in? Whether in your spine, on your skull, your ribs, your sternum, your shoulders, your arms, your hands. And how do you know yourself, who you are, in your skeleton, in your body? How much do you know of yourself from the perspective of your bones, of this structure that is supporting you every day? And pay attention to your legs, your feet on the floor, whether you're sitting or standing. The bones of your legs and of your feet. And think of one quality, one word you would use to describe your skeleton. In this context, in the context of connecting it to who you are, to yourself, and to caring for yourself. And again, come back to sensing your breathing and the rhythm of your breathing, the tide of your own self, of your own support. And if writing down and journaling works for you, I would encourage you to start writing down what comes up. What would you do to care for yourself as authentic self? To move out of some habitual pattern, roles, thinking you have, and start very slowly. Like, what is the first, even not the first step, but what is the lifting of the foot to take the first step? Like the first thing, something that is easy to do, that doesn't ask any big effort, any big, change and turn your life upside down, but something easy, comfortable, and nourishing for you and for this very first start of care for yourself. And I'd love to hear from you. If you want to share, you can find my contact information through Facebook and through my website, francinebonjour.com. And I will be here next week for our 15 minutes of grounding practice. Thank you. I wish you a great day. Bye.